Hey everyone, big news from the boys of the last podcast on the left.
Check out The Last Comic Book on the Left, our most sinister comic anthology. It now has a volume 2.
Please pre-order now at z2comics.com. We have an even bigger stable of artists and talent and writers and everyone that we did for the first one, although the first one is fucking amazing and it's still available on z2comics.com. But we're asking you to go pre-order number 2, z2comics.com.
You're gonna like the way you read.
All right, everyone, thank you so much. Hail yourselves.
Hail Satan.
Hail Gee.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
Lo, 'tis a gala night within the lonesome latter years. An angel throng bewinged, bedight, in veils and drowned in tears, sit in a theater to see a play of hopes and fears.
Oh, man.
While the orchestra breathes fitfully the music of the spheres.
Welcome to the last podcast on the left, everyone. I am Ben, hanging out with Henry and hanging out with Marcus for the 500th time.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God, we've hung out so many more times than 500. Oh God.
Yeah, dude.
I know.
It's technically it's probably like episode 615 if you got all the side stories, but you can really feel the 500 on this one.
Yeah. Episode 500. It's been a wonderful journey, and I'm happy to have shared it with both of you, and of course with this fantastic audience.
And to open 500 up, Kissel, do you think that if Snoop Dogg was around during this time period that he would have called himself the Bitch Finder General?
Whoa!
Come on,
All
have fun today.
Come on.
Folks, what are we talking about? The Salem Witch Trials!
It's finally here!
Yeah, it has begun.
Now, while the Salem Witch Trials were by no means the most lethal in modern history, they certainly are the most famous. In 1692, a large swath of Massachusetts came to believe that a witch infestation orchestrated by the devil himself.
It's the devil! Oh, no!
They believed that had taken hold in their colony.
And again, we might not be the most deadly one.
No.
Right? You know, America didn't make the most deadly one. We didn't kill witches by the hundreds like they did in Europe, but we did it with style.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, if the devil's going to go anywhere, it'll be Massachusetts.
Oh, man. Don't tell that to the people that own Dunkin' Donuts.
No.
Yeah.
Donkeys.
Are you going to say the people of Georgia?
Oh, yeah. No, that's right. Oh, yeah.
No, the devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah, for
because
vacation.
He was living in Massachusetts.
And also the tax write-off for the film industry.
Fantastic.
Well, in the resulting fear and paranoia, 172 people would be accused of being in league with Satan.
Satan!
Of that number, 5 would die in jail awaiting trial or execution. 1 would be slowly crushed under rocks for refusing to participate in the proceedings, and 19 would be executed by hanging.
Yeah, man. And it wasn't quick hanging.
No, we'll get into that later. It is they did not know what they were doing. They did not test it like they did in England way back when with Jack Ketch and all that.
And the big melons. They tie melons and see what the melons did the rope.
I have a weighted blanket. And I'm just wondering if at one point they put one rock on that person and they're like, if you stop now,
this is incredible.
I could actually rest. This is actually 19 pounds of pressure, and it's easing my anxiety.
How heavy is your weighted blanket?
It's really heavy, and then I have my dogs.
Man, you sleep under like 75 pounds.
Yeah, it's cool.
Now, one of the things that made the Salem Witch Trials somewhat special was the fact that men and women, rich and poor, devout and disbelieving, were all fair game for the hangman's noose. However, that isn't to say that the majority of victims here were not the usual suspects.
Which is literally what they called them.
Yeah. Those would be women, weird, off-putting people nobody liked, and citizens who made morally questionable decisions.
For the time period. Nowadays, you'd see like that one woman who purchased the indentured servant and then started fucking them for legal.
Well, that ain't right.
What,
No, it's correct. It was love. Love is correct.
Oh.
It's in the context of times and, of course, stuff that we would still consider awful now. It's like he once beat a handyman to death.
No, that's not good.
Not at
Why'd
all.
you point at me?
Absolutely.
I love my handyman.
Of course you do. You can't do anything on your own.
I'm completely unable to do anything in the home.
But along with that majority were community leaders, wealthy men, and even one reverend. And they all hung from the branch of a tree on, as legend has it, Gallows Hill.
Yes, the most metal hill in all of the valley.
It's not just a clever name.
What's important to remember about witch hunts during this time period, though, is that it took a lot more than one person pointing and screaming, "Witch!" to get the party started with a hunt, or even a single trial. Rather, witch hunts and witch trials didn't take off until the majority of the community agreed that witchcraft was afoot.
Yeah, things are fucked up. She's got a big hat.
Absolutely.
Let's go to her fucking ass. Oh, I saw a nipple through her shirt.
Well,
String her up.
I also think this was probably the first time anyone ever wore a boob inspector shirt.
Well, it's
don't
for
know
the mark
why.
of the devil.
Absolutely.
Well, in Salem, the community at large became convinced, mostly but not solely, due to the riveting performances of 6 girls known as the Afflicted.
Yes. They were like all the girls from Euphoria.
Yeah.
They do very well, and I don't know who they are.
Well, for a myriad of reasons that each had their own motivation, the Afflicted testified that they were almost constantly being attacked by the specters of witches simply for evil's sake. And in the course of those attacks, these girls also claimed to have gained secret knowledge of other evil deeds perpetrated by the Salem townsfolk.
These are kind of cool chicks, to be honest. They work at Hot Topic. They know all the nice stuff. They'll kiss you, but they won't date you.
I feel like they were more like robot servants within their own home because they were all children of Puritan families that were basically created to be a workforce.
Well, they rebelled.
Well, this is the first time. Well, there's many. It's very complicated.
It's very
Okay,
complicated.
we'll get
yeah.
into it.
They were orphans. They were war refugees. They were all fucked up.
They were all fucked up. That's actually, as an historian,
Yeah. All
That's-
fucked up.
it's all fucked up.
That's your professional medical advice.
That is
your
as,
opinion.
As a future history professor, come to my 9:30 a.m. class all fucked up with Professor Parks.
I'm down
I
with it.
can't wait for you to freak out on those kids and throw an apple at somebody's head and get
Nothing
fired.
has ever been good.
Well, community members were accused of homicide, patricide, infanticide, inducing suicide, and multiple counts of serious assault, all in the service of the devil or for their own selfish wants and needs.
The devil's just a middleman. All right, he's trying to help you out here.
Yeah.
Right. When it comes down to it, I also find it's really, really, apparently very difficult for the devil to get anybody to put anything in writing because he is sort of like a timeshare salesman.
Well, there's a little bit of trust with the deal with the devil. A handshake should do it.
No, well, you're supposed to kiss his literal asshole.
Is that right?
That is the part of that's one of the ceremonies.
That was more of a European thing, though.
No, I saw some asshole kissing in some of the descriptions. Maybe I'm looking for it, but it did feel like I saw a couple because you're supposed to Benedict kiss the rump of the goat.
All right.
But to that point, Henry, there were never any sexual allegations leveled.
Yeah, they're not horny enough.
Yeah, and despite the devil's supposed horniness, sex of any kind was never mentioned at any point during the trials, with rare, very vague exceptions.
For me, that kind of points to the fact that they were kind of making up as they were going because they couldn't even make up horny shit to lie about.
They had no point of reference for horny shit.
Yeah, because they weren't doing anything. They weren't scissoring as far as I know.
Right.
I mean, I'm certain every once in a while they got a funny feeling on a horse.
Oh, of course.
And then all of a sudden you realize, but the horse also has a vase in the back between his trunk and his front. And I shall use the vase herewith for my pleasure.
Oh, I'm sure. Sometimes you got a fart, it sneaks in, you get aroused. I mean, there's a series of different ways the person can orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just sit like this. We'll just sit like this because it's a long series ahead of us. And this is just the very beginning. It's not even you're even done with the intro wrap up.
Not at all. But lest ye think that Salem was just a bunch of wacky religious American nuts going off on a tear like they always do.
I'm gonna kill you both. I'm gonna kill you fucking both.
The witch hunt of 1692 was nothing compared to what went on in Europe both before and after the trials in Massachusetts. While the 25 killed in Salem marked those witch hunts as the deadliest in American history, 2,000 people were executed for witchcraft in Cologne, Germany, half a century before Salem.
Honestly, and I feel bad for the gallows construction guys because, it's great to have so much work, but, at the same time, where's the you time?
Yeah.
It's exhausting. Didn't have that on my half century before 1692 bingo card.
I get fine.
Well, in Europe, they were more, they like to burn the witches. So it's more like it's the lumberman. He's the one that doesn't get the rest.
Why do you think, I'm certain there actually is an answer, but I don't know the answer. Why did they prefer burning to our hanging?
That is an answer I do not know. I guess it's just a cultural thing.
We wouldn't understand.
Absolutely.
We'll read into that. Maybe for next week, we can have that answer.
Yeah, I'd like that. Yeah, once we start getting to the executions in Salem, we'll go through a few witch executions in history and see really what are the differences between the different cultures.
I'm excited.
Right. Yeah,
it's like going to Epcot.
Yeah.
If you really did believe that they were possessed by the devil, I think burning out the devil would make more sense than hanging, perhaps.
Or they double suited it, where it's also real cold. A lot of witch practice and a lot of witch accusations and trials can come around wintertime.
There you go. All right.
But starting 20 years after Salem, 800 people were executed for witchcraft in Hungary over the course of 4 decades. That is a 40-year-long witch hunt.
Sounds more like hangry.
Absolutely.
That's funny.
It is.
That is funny.
That's funny. I laughed. You got me.
If you say something and then say it's funny afterwards, that means that was funny.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Well, some of those in Hungary were killed by torture, some were killed by being burnt at the stake, and some were drowned during the sink or swim test. You're familiar with that, right, Ben?
Of course, if you drown, you're not a witch. But if you survive, you're a witch, and if you drown, you don't. So basically, you're fucked.
They swim. The mark of Satan is upon them. They must hang.
What do you guys want? Drowning, fire, or hanging?
Drowning.
Drowning.
Absolutely.
I think I would go with fire because don't you just inhale really fast and then you pass out?
You scream a lot. It hurts.
You do?
Oh, yeah. It
There's
gets
a
hot.
lot of pain. Your feet are definitely going to be blackened.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. That's going to be bad. And everyone's watching.
Yeah.
Where at least when I'm drowning, it's like I'm dying by myself, even though people are watching from the surface.
Yeah. And in a way, aren't you back in Mother Earth's womb?
I just pretend I was that baby from Nevermind. Go full dick out. I'd piss hard.
Yeah, you would.
But to give you a scale of how hard and fast the accusations took hold in Salem, there were only 120 people accused of witchcraft in England in the 50-odd years before Salem. And of those, only 17 were executed. By contrast, the Salem Witch Trials would surpass both of those numbers in less than a year.
Which is why it truly is how do you put it? It was out of fashion in Europe already, technically, right? Like they had the Hungarian burn down. It's like, but it was
the last witches in England were executed 5 years before this.
But he still got but it was still they were with the aristocrats would be like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like if they heard it, be like, oh, you still doing that? Like they do that type of thing.
Yeah.
But where in America, they kind of got it all done in one go. They were like, okay, this is our turn. We're going to rip this up. Again, capitalism. It's all about bang for your buck.
Yep.
Well, it seems like the vast majority do not get accused, or if they're accused of being a witch, the vast majority aren't killed. It seems like they couldn't get out of jury duty. You got to figure out how to get out of this.
Well, a lot of it is you better be careful where you go when you're invited to anything in 1692. And if you've done anything that makes anybody upset, because a lot of them were like, come meet us at the tavern.
Right.
You're a fucking witch now. You're like, what?
Dang it.
Well, the problem with that is that, if you've done anything to anybody, you might get accused of being a witch. But as we'll get into with Salem, everybody had done everything to everyone. So
because it was a small town.
Small town.
Everyone was pissed off at each other at all times. So the fucking witch accusations got tossed around willy-nilly, but we'll get to that later.
Awesome.
Now, at the center of pretty much every witch hunt is the idea that Satan is real, working not just in spirit, but in the physical realm as well. In short, Satan was an entity as consequential to everyone's daily lives as the weather. And considering how many people died as a result of this belief, they might as well have been right.
I mean, that's how you make something real. You just
Absolutely.
transmute it. It's kind of what the internet has done in its own subconscious way, where things start on the internet and then can pop into real life, much like QAnon.
Absolutely. The satanic panic. It's back. It's stronger than ever,
It is.
perhaps.
Mm-hmm. The devil, as he was often referred to then, was an all-powerful being who was greatly feared as an enemy of all that was good. While the devil was not blamed for every bad thing that happened, he could be blamed without question, in everything from a stubborn ox to the death of a child.
If you believe some theologians,
Something like that.
Theologians.
If you believe some of those fucking morons, right? Spend all day
perhaps
fucking.
they
You
study
might
religion.
might as well be an expert in Monopoly. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same.
It's quite interesting given human history and how
It's a
people.
cultural thing. It's very important to the
I
culture.
wouldn't understand.
It guides human actions. So, religion's important.
The idea of the old God, even the old Gnostic idea of God, or the original tribe's view of God, of like the idea that it always kind of had a duality to it. And at some point, the Christians understood packaging and creating teams, and that was split at some point, where those that were the sort of the cruel aspects of God became a character known as the devil, whatever you wanted, the serpent, the goat, all that type of shit, as a really good way. Again, Anton LaVey, the devil's kept the church in business for all these years.
Yep.
It works
I suppose
great.
so. Perhaps the devil is so upset because he can't find shoes, because you have to think of a hoof and how difficult that would
Hooves
be.
have shoes.
Yeah.
No,
But isn't,
hooves don't have
a
shoes.
hoof a shoe of its own?
Yeah, it
No,
protects-
that's like saying your toenail is a shoe.
No, because when you put there's a horseshoe that goes on a hoof.
He's not a fucking horse, though, is he? He's the devil.
But you can put a horseshoe on.
A goat shoe.
Do they call it a goat shoe?
No one puts them on goats. There's no reason for it.
Why not?
Because you don't ride it and it's not big enough.
I would.
Let's get back to it.
You stopped us.
I know.
But in addition to the devil being a real presence, tangible magic was also considered to be real in both black and white forms. Black magic, or maleficium as it was known, was the province of those who paid allegiance to the devil, the witches of New England. And by the way, witches could not do magic on their own. They merely asked the devil to do magic for them, and then the devil would do magic because mortals were not able to do magic. They made mortals too powerful if you said that mortals could do magic.
Well, that's also one of their validation points. That's one of these things where they would start to, how they get a confession out of you, like what they do with the cops do, where they go
Right.
like, we're your friends.
We can help
We
you
can
out.
help you out.
Yeah.
You just come on our side. Or they would use those arguments to say like, you didn't do this. The devil did this. He just used your tits as little guns. And you're like, and then you have to understand, like, so it's the way they viewed it. They're really good at just changing whatever it is they're talking about to make it work for their present circumstance.
Manipulation.
Well, on the other side of the magic was everyone else, the people who practiced white magic, also known as folk magic. In this, one could summon with common household objects. You could use an egg. You could use hot nails. You could use a Bible and a key.
Oh, yeah.
I want to use the Bible and the key.
Yeah. I mean, fuck all of it.
Yeah.
I want to make breakfast. As soon as you said eggs, honestly, I'm starving.
And you can use it for any reason. You could use conjuring to summon lost objects. You can use it to discover suspected marital infidelities.
But it was such a part of their life already. Folk magic. We've talked about this when we did the Mormonism series. It comes up again and again. Like it was already such a... It's weird because it was baked in. It was a part of their lives. The idea that there were people that could do things. It was a connection to the earth. And then they just decide when it's a crime when they want it to be.
Yeah, because everyone practiced folk magic all throughout the Puritan colonies. All of these people practice it to some degree or another. But perhaps the most important function of white magic was battling black magic, which that gives you a sense of how everyday and mundane this sort of thing was, and how much magic was somewhat tolerated until things got out of hand.
It sounds like if Pokemon was real. This is awesome. This is not mundane at all.
Yeah. And also, you got to remember, these people are leading boring lives of drudgery, so it adds spice to everything.
But what if Pokemon Go could get you fucking hung? This is the problem. This is where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of fun and exciting. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, I'm not a witch. Like, oh, shit.
Well, it was believed that if someone was using black magic against you, your family, or your farm, that magic could be turned back on the witch by burning, boiling, or otherwise hurting a piece of what had been bewitched. like a lock of your sick child's hair. If a witch is making your child sick, you cut off some hair and you burn it.
Oh, that'll work.
Or if a witch has killed your sow, killed your pig, you cut off its ear and you stab the ear over and over and over again.
Yeah, dude.
That was not my pig. That was my goddamn girlfriend.
Fractals, bro. All right?
Yeah.
You want to fucking talk about some fucking fractals, dude? I tried a bunch of our samples that we were going to use for fucking the last podcast weed last time, man. Fractals.
Fractals. Okay, fantastic.
Did you actually study fractals, or did you just say the word over and over again because it's a fun word to say when you're high?
We all are just
Fractals. There's my fucking pig.
Well, things could even get physical in the battle between good and evil. One could confront a suspected witch directly and scratch him to draw a little bit of blood. And somehow, if you scratch the suspected witch, that would somehow deactivate the magic. If you drew blood, though.
I do want to point out, you said him, and that was an interesting thing that I learned in the car with you, Marcus. It was not just women that were witches, it was also men.
He can learn.
Yes, he can.
No,
Yes, indeed.
it's anybody who got the finger first.
Well, in other words, during this time period, damn near everyone during the 1600s in rural New England, but especially Salem, they were kind of witchy, kind of weird, and very combative.
They were truly independent.
Yeah.
Independent in a way that allowed them to consume themselves like a snake eating its own tail.
Now, as far as why witches gave themselves over to the devil, it's really not all that clear, which, to modern eyes, makes the Salem Witch Trials all the more baffling. See, instead of Faustian bargains in which people sell their souls for great material wealth or status, the witches of 17th century New England supposedly signed temporary contracts with the devil in order to take revenge over petty grievances, like property line disputes or arguments over how many fucking chickens you owe me.
Yeah,
I mean, this is serious stuff.
well, it's almost like they're making it up because a lot of times the people that there has been incidents of real, quote unquote, real dark ceremonies, people working with the devil. But mostly, I think it's about a change in lifestyle, especially back from the time period. There's something about you aligning yourself with this other idea. We'll cover one of them, one of our favorite ones of them, who just like leaned into the witch thing, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really about escape of a deeply misogynist culture, but also bad for everybody. With like, it was especially bad for women, but it was bad for everybody. Everybody was like caught in this Puritan fucking trap. And there's something about like, you kind of let yourself go nuts in a way. You kind of say like, yeah, I signed a deal with the devil, and it was for this freedom. It was like kind of what they did in The Witch, which I actually thought was really on the money, with their like, do you want to live deliciously?
Fuck yeah.
Where it's all about that. It's more about like, don't you want to like smile?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of delicious, did they have clam chowder yet? Because it is amazing. I had some in San Diego during Comic-Con.
Honestly, you've been talking about clam chowder for years.
I love clam chowder, and I
also
wonder
love clam chowder.
if they had it.
Where did clam chowder originate?
You can't be that sad as a
United
society.
States, it says it was here.
1600s?
It says the first one, clam chowder. Oh my fucking Christ!
Clam
it's here.
chowder.
The brief history of clam chowder.
chowder.
It says 1919.
Okay, wow,
That's
that's
the
very
first
new.
That's the first document. Well, it says, it might have been it could have been invented in the 17th century. Now we're gonna get these fucking emails from the Clam Chowder Society.
I love the clam chowder people, but either way, we can assume they did not have it then.
They did not have it.
No.
Absolutely not. But I think, using the devil as a way to take revenge over petty grievances, or at least accusing people of doing so, I think this was just a way for people to use witchcraft as a way to completely overblow the small, very human disagreements that come from living in a society. And this goes double when a society is going through growing pains, much like colonial New England was in 1692.
Growing pains is a really friendly way to put it. It technically was in a massive downward spiral.
Yeah, which we'll get into. It is a mild way of putting it, but yeah, I mean, it's a society going through transition. Transition is scary. But put simply, this was just another way for the people of New England to turn their own personal anger and frustration into a righteous war between good and evil, which is what I think really lies at the heart of the Salem Witch Trials.
It doesn't sound like anything we know now. So that's what I'm glad that there's no
Absolutely,
modern,
No modern equivalent
modern
to that at
ties.
all. Not even close.
But again, we'll state up top. It is very varied. There has been many books written on this subject, and we have some we've been reading and trying to get to the bottom of it. And this is going to be the last podcast version of what we think is at the center of the Salem Witch Trials, which everybody says something else.
Yeah. Of course.
So the books don't mention like boob inspector shirts.
No. That's what we bring to the conversation.
I see. That's our spin.
But before we get into the why and how, let's acknowledge our sources for this series. First, we've got the highly recommended book, A Storm of Witchcraft by Emerson W. Baker, which nicely summarizes both the trials themselves and the possible historical causes for the whole kerfluffle.
You know what I like about this guy too? Emerson, he's got the name of a guy who lives in like a colonial Williamsburg hut on purpose.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's what I like. I like a historian to sound like a nerd.
Emerson, I don't like the Catholic Church, but I wouldn't mind if he's deeply Catholic.
Yeah.
There's something about the name Emerson.
Well, no,
Emerson
that's the
Baker.
problem. I try
Yeah.
to watch a new documentary about the Puritans, and
Yeah.
it's just all like, here's what they got right. But they don't like say anything about like everything that they got incorrect. And then you're like,
right.
oh, and then I looked at it was like from a Christian like production company. And so
Ah.
sometimes those sources are a little skewed.
Mhm.
All right.
We've also got The Salem Witch Trials, a day-by-day chronicle of a community under siege by Marilyn K. Roach. This one is for your hardcore Salem heads out there. This is the book for the ones who want every single detail of what went on. It is fascinating, but goddamn is it dense.
All right.
You know what book I was reading that I also really loved that helped me get sort of like a vague understanding? I'm still reading it. And I'm going to, as we go throughout the series, I'm going to pontificate on it. It's called Europe's Inner Demons, The Demonization of Christians in Medieval Christendom by Norman Cohn. And it's really interesting to kind of see where all this might have come from.
Well, he definitely made it an exciting story. That's the most boring title I've ever heard.
It's fascinating.
Fascinating.
So, without further ado, let's get into the Salem Witch Trials, starting with the question of what may have caused the whole affair. The answer to that question is, of course, a lot of shit.
Get your shovels.
Here we go.
Just like one could not point to one thing to explain the satanic panic of the 80s and 90s, or the modern widespread belief of QAnon's satanic government cabal conspiracy, one cannot blame Salem on a single cause. Rather, it was a myriad of causes, a perfect storm, as it were.
George Clooney.
Yeah.
Nice.
Where's he in this?
Mark Wahlberg, also in that movie.
A boat.
Yeah. This has got reasons ranging from something as mundane as bad weather to some of the bloodiest and brutal wars ever fought on these lands. But before we get into the real causes, let's go ahead and dispel one of the most famous and groovy myths of the Salem Witch Trials, which, admittedly, we ourselves have been guilty at times of spreading.
Well, it's because it's one of those quick facts that you could just say real quick. Be
That's
like,
super wrong.
We've all done this.
Is it the wheat?
Yeah.
Is this the wheat? Is that not real?
Yeah, it's not real, man.
Well, it might be one. There might be tiny bits of it, but you know.
Tiny. Now, despite how awesome the 2015 classic The Witch made it look, the delusions and craziness that went down in New England in 1692 was not a result of ergot poisoning.
Ergot poisoning.
Ergot poisoning.
It's not the ergot poisoning.
It's not the ergot poisoning. I've been wrong about the ergot poisoning this whole time.
And I said, hey, you try to correct me one more time about ergot poisoning, I'm going to come down there here's yours, I'm going to kill your mom and your dad.
Oh my God, it's only ergot poisoning.
See, in 1976, in the post-acid age, it was suggested that many of the people in Salem accusing others of witchcraft had been suffering from convulsive ergotism.
Ergot
As-
poisoning? It was not ergot poisoning?
It's convulsive ergotism.
It's ergot poisoning.
That was as a result of eating the ergot fungus that grows on damp cereal grains.
The ergot poisoning.
We have to save it.
Episode 500. We're so professional now. Nothing. We're not stupid.
We've grown.
So, man, streamlined.
Well, in Salem, that cereal grain would have been the communal rye that everyone ate from. And while ergot poisoning does indeed...
It's hard to hear it now. It's hard to hear it without it. Like, call EP or something.
I only have to say it like 2 or 3 more
Great.
times.
Okay, good.
But while ergot poisoning does indeed induce the sorts of trips one might have on acid, the descriptions we have of the afflicted don't include the other symptoms, like neurological damage, gangrene, and near constant vomiting and diarrhea.
Bro, I'm really fucking tripping off this ergot.
I'm tripping birds. I'm tripping
Where'd you get this ergot, man? Because I'm fucking tripping birds.
I got it from Earlbertson's.
I'm done.
We got enough of our system. But it is I love my hallucinogen community.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I love my mushroom people. I love doing acid. But it is a very high idea to be like, maybe they were all just fucking tripping balls, man.
I thought that was sort of true.
We don't know, but it's not the cause.
I got
Yeah.
you.
Well,
Okay.
additionally, had the afflicted been exposed to ergot for the entirety of 1692, they would have suffered permanent dementia. To the contrary, most of these girls lived normal lives free of any kind of mental illness after the trials finally settled down.
Yeah, actually, a bunch of mayhem happened, and they all went, well, now it's over. Okay,
Great. Moving on.
moving on.
Well, furthermore, the entire communal supply of rye would have been infected with ergot. And there are certainly more than a few people in Salem who said, this shit is crazy while it was all going on.
Yeah, there were some not high people there.
Yeah. But lastly, and perhaps most importantly, the accusations were not just confined to Salem Village.
Oh.
No, they were not. As I briefly mentioned, the witch hysteria infected multiple towns around Massachusetts. It even reached as far as Connecticut, 250 miles away as the crow flies.
Okay.
Yeah, it got a wee bit out of control.
Mhm.
And you could tell how it got out of control by how quickly all the regional governments try to cover it up.
Yep.
Interesting.
And so now that we've got the easy answer out of the way, let's ask the questions everybody wants answered. Namely, how did this happen and why was it allowed to go on for so long?
Because it was fun. And you got attention.
Yeah.
And you loved every minute of it.
It must have been fun for someone at some point.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
As far as the questions go, I think the answer can be summed up in one sentence that can be applied to almost any witch hunt in history, small or large. In short, life sucked and everything was hard.
Got you.
And this was not even a time period where things were already generally hard.
Right.
So and then imagine it actually being like hard for incredibly difficult times.
And this isn't Taco Bell taking away the Mexican pizza hard.
Don't even fucking bring that up to me.
I mean,
because
that's what causes people to riot today.
I could barely read yesterday because of my chocolate tears. And honestly, I do need to go to the doctor because I don't know why my tears are brown.
I know. It's sad.
I could see the Choco Taco being a very cherished childhood memory to you.
Oh yeah, man, I love that shit.
That's
the closest,
psyop, by the way.
That's literally the closest we got to Mexican food as children because
Yeah.
my parents don't like spice.
That's a Choco Taco psyop. They're not getting rid of it. They just want to gin up support.
They're doing that thing with like Mr. Peanut fucking
Exactly.
thing, where you try to kill him fucking self, and they brought that
Exactly.
baby Peanut. Now he's just showing up like we didn't all have a funeral for you.
Exactly.
Now remember, this was life on the frontier in the early stages of American settlement, back when America, and especially New England, was still a deeply mysterious and lethally dangerous place where life sucked and everything was hard. However, life was made even harder than it had to be by the people who were in charge of Massachusetts colony, the ones who had founded it in the first place and were so desperately trying to hold on to their power by the late 1600s. Those people were the Puritans.
Get your buckles. Hope you like your buckles.
Myth!
I've
Another
seen
myth.
some buckles. I watch Witchfinder General.
They didn't have buckles.
Buckles were overblown, as was the black clothing, but we'll get into it. Black was actually a very expensive color of clothing to have back in the 1600s.
But again, it's Boston.
I wish I was overblown.
No, it's not.
You're a funny guy.
Yeah, you clever.
The Puritans actually, which they called them in derogatory term,
Yes.
they called themselves good Christians.
They also called themselves Congregationalists.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Puritans had only landed on Plymouth Rock about 70 or so years before the Salem Witch Trials. But by the 1690s, when everything went down, things were not going well, for reasons both within and without their control. When it came to things the Puritans could do nothing about, all of this happened during the worst part of our last big bout with climate change, the so-called Little Ice Age that lasted from the year 1400 until the year 1800.
That's not very little.
It's huge. It's 400 years.
It does sound like the Muppet Babies if the Muppet Babies cost fucking millions of lives due to drought and pestilence.
Little Ice Age is kind of fun.
It is cute.
Well, specifically, Salem occurred during the Maunder Minimum, when every winter was the coldest in history and every summer was dry as a bone. Interestingly, scholars have noted that there was a high correlation between eras of extreme weather like the Maunder Minimum during the Little Ice Age and outbreaks of witchcraft in Europe. Again, life sucks and everything is hard.
When everything is difficult and society is already pinned against you, every once in a while, the pressure builds and it builds and it builds. And one day, that powder cake pops.
Absolutely. Maunder Minimum, also a new movie starring Keanu Reeves where he goes to buffets, specifically Chinese buffets, and only has a little bit of food.
Wow, he's been thinking about that. So pleased.
Isn't that something?
No. Sure is.
It really is.
Yeah.
And he just has a little bit of food.
Yeah, I know. Yes. You said it.
What a surprise.
I thought you were going to elucidate on it, but that's fine.
What a surprise.
Now, at the same time that everyone was either freezing to death or starving because there was no rain to grow crops, they were dealing with yet another disastrous frontier war with the indigenous tribes of New England. This caused rapid inflation, which in turn caused a massive depression, causing life to suck more and making everything even harder.
Even harder and worse than it was the day before.
Could have done without that.
But for the Puritans, what stung the most was the fact that all these awful circumstances were not translating to increased church membership.
Oh, then they were just like, I thought that when everything sucked and life was hard, you'd want to come here where we tell you to feel guilty about it.
Why would this increase church membership? Why would I want to believe in God right now? He's obviously not thrilled with us killing a bunch of indigenous people.
Well, because they thought that they don't get the message that God is telling us he's mad right now.
Yeah.
Why aren't you all here trying to suck God's dick so that he can smile?
It sounds like an abusive relationship to me.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in fact, the so-called city upon a hill that the Puritans had envisioned, the thing that fucking Reagan stole in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a Puritan thing. Like the whole city upon a hill.
Yeah, it's called the dog whistle to the evangelicals.
Oh.
They've been doing it a long fucking time.
Yeah,
They've had a
they
lot of
have.
long plans.
Then I miss the old days of the dog whistle. Now it's just a straight up
Just
human yell.
Yeah.
Well, this so-called city upon a hill that the Puritans had envisioned when they came to America was quickly dissolving.
Okay, you ready, guys? for
Yep.
this fucking-
Let's get
all right.
into fifth grade history.
Yes, you need to get your notebooks out. All right? Quit touching Tammy.
I got a trapper keeper.
I'm gonna throw everyone in this classroom out on the street.
I actually had a kick-ass trapper keeper with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on it.
Mine was Legend of Zelda.
No kidding.
It was great. It was rare.
Wow.
It was rare, but I got it.
Nice.
Whoa,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. My
Yeah.
parents didn't believe in it.
Yeah, they didn't believe in trapper keepers.
Yeah, they thought it was stupid. So I had the composition books.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Weird.
Classy boy.
I don't know why they were against it. They're like, we're not spending money on this.
It's a trapper keeper.
Yeah, they hated it.
Okay.
Well, the Puritans had fled England in 1620 because they felt the Church of England was being corrupted by outside forces like the Roman Catholic Church.
Which is so funny because the Church of England was made so that Henry VIII could divorce his wife. And then they are all saying it wasn't pure enough. Like, yeah. Like, yes.
All right.
So the Puritans fled to a place where they could practice pure Christianity, i.e. Puritanism, although as Henry said, that was not what they called themselves. Like how the Mormons call themselves Latter-day Saints and we call them Mormons, the Puritans called themselves, as I said, Congregationalists.
I did the tiniest bit of reading because it's very boring about Protestantism.
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 Protestantism. But the idea that they got mad because the Catholic Church has a pope, right? And then so the idea is that there's a dude that says he's the liaison between us and God. And the Protestants, they said that we actually are the ones who have access to God because we believe in it. But the Puritans, that wasn't even enough for them.
No.
They needed to go even what we now call fundamentalism, which is even more of a stripped down version of what they believed, which is just this, they needed their own little society because, again, they just hated seeing a woman's butt outline.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, like the early Mormons, Puritans seemed to sort of piss off and put out pretty much everyone they came into contact with. So they founded their equivalent of Utah, far away from everyone else, in Massachusetts Bay.
One of the worst places in the world. I know people like it.
I'm
like
sure
it. So
there's
we're gonna take
aspects of it that are great, but Utah is beautiful.
the rest of the fucking pilgrims, they went to the Dominican Republic.
Ooh, the
It's beautiful. You know what I mean? They went down to the islands.
Yeah.
Like, it's beautiful. They went to Florida. They went to all these, like, nice temperatures. The
Yeah.
opposite of fucking England. And can you imagine just going to worse England?
Yeah, I totally feel you. Also, Dominican Republic, and apparently it's a hidden gem. And I was with a cab driver once, and he said, "Don't tell anybody the DR is the best place to vacation."
That's what I hear.
Why are you doing this then?
I don't know. It's during a
Well, isn't it? Is it the Urga
It must be your
Yeah. Well, as an interesting side note, most Puritans came from East Anglia in England, which was the same place where the last great witch trials of England took place, in which 100 people were murdered, including 15 in one day. And that was just a few short decades before Salem.
And they did it. They looked at it like they were the executives of Marvel. And they're like, we love this. We're going to do a full expanded universe of this.
Expanded
Really can't wait.
multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when we think of the Puritans, while they were indeed the rigid stick-up-their-ass dicks that we imagine them as, they were not quite the plain black-clothed fuddy-duddies we imagine. Rather, they drank in moderation. They had taverns in Salem.
Yeah.
They wore bright and fancy clothes with fancy lace if they were rich, which many of them were.
Okay.
They owned gaudy furniture. You could find a Turkish rug, a brightly covered Turkish rug in a Puritan household. And they even supposedly enjoyed a good joke. A good jab.
What kind of joke?
What do you call a woman showing her knee?
What do you call it?
A dead prostitute.
Whoa, that's not funny.
Puritans also believed that prosperity was a sign of favor from God.
Very similar to Mormons as well.
Yeah, so the richer the man, the more God loved him. This is but one of many, many parallels between the Puritans and modern evangelical Christians.
I've seen Elon Musk with his shirt off. God does not love it.
Hey, man, the only thing I can ever say to defend him is that he's got a thinker's body. And the rest of us who are also built like that man just better be hope that you are very charming.
Rob Liefeld, Captain America, that's all I see.
Yep.
Now, because of their belief in the prosperity gospel, Puritans were made up mostly of the merchant class. And they left England not because they weren't doing well, but because they wanted to form their own Christian theocracy where they were the ones on top. But when it comes to making life much harder than it needs to be, the Puritans made it doubly so by choosing Calvinism as the backbone of their faith.
Yeah, and they had that ball, and you got the tiger doll there.
Yeah,
hanging out.
exactly. He's always pissing on Ford.
Yeah, he's always pissing on Ford. And I have the one where I got him pissing on just the words ex-wife.
Oh, my.
I got
Calvin.
one where he's pissing on the word cystic fibrosis.
Hey, man, fuck cystic fibrosis. I fucking hate it, too. I'm with you, Calvin.
Well, basically, Calvinism says that because of the fall of Adam and Eve, every person is not only born as a sinner into a life of total depravity,
Yay.
but their ultimate destination of heaven or hell is already determined by God before they're even born.
Well, this
and
is-
nothing they can do in life can change God's decision.
Fantastic. I've been replaying Red Dead Redemption and I'm trying to be good, but I just ran over a random mom on my freaking horse and they're like, now you're bad. And I'm like, well, you know what? Fuck it then.
Yeah,
Everyone's dead. Now everyone's dead in this town. It just really does. I hate that so much though, because you know what? Just I want to remind people you're born beautiful.
You're born beautiful.
You're born pure.
Yeah, you can change
You
your
did
own
not do
lot in
anything
life.
wrong to be born.
But the idea is that you had to live in sort of a suspense as whether or not you'll find out that a celestial Howie Mandel will arrive with a suitcase and open it up and see, there's you're saved. Like he literally just shows you that God's face and see it? Boom. That's the
Make
only way
a
you know.
deal indeed.
I mean, really, all you could hope for was for God to show himself to you in some way to let you know that you were one of the ones going to heaven. That meant that every Calvinist spent every day wishing and hoping and praying and looking for any sign that they were going to heaven. Because if they didn't see that sign before they died, the devil would see them in hell.
I'll see you in hell, Mr. Man.
Just make it up then. If you have to see God, just look at something and say, that was it.
Yeah.
And then move on.
Yes, Kissel. That's what they would do.
Good.
That's what I would do. I'd be
Of
like,
course.
there's God right there.
Boom.
Oh, right there. You see that? You see that cardinal over there? That's my pop-pop.
Yep.
Who's just do my mom.
Who's got two thumbs in this safe? This guy.
Okay.
You get it.
Now, this was a highly stressful way to live, especially in a time and place where it was so very easy to die. As such, even while more Puritans were coming from England, those who'd already settled were breaking off to form new colonies, and Puritans were banishing even more of their brethren for heresy and differing interpretation of Scripture. And because this was so stressful, and because they were just banishing people left and right, there was a massive decline in church membership.
Yeah.
So what's the different interpretation? Be like, well, technically, yes, Noah did have sex with his daughter, but they only did anal. And you don't seem to recognize that, which is bizarre that you don't
bizarre.
recognize. It's bizarre.
It could be something as small as a word. You know, what does that word mean in the context of larger Christianity?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it really could be that small. Because remember, these people were Puritan. They are all about the pure word of God.
Yes, they believe the Bible is infallible, every word, and unlike certain stripes that believed it is to be interpreted, right? Technically, most Christian sects believe that it is the word of God, but it's also to be interpreted, where this is a group that believes that it is literal word for word.
Absolutely.
But also because of the nature of the way they believe, it can only come from the Bible. So everything was lawyered. All of their faith systems were all like, well, I've got this provision that says I can do this. And then they chunk out all the poetry, and you can make it validate any single thing that you want.
Most of the Bible is just a list of names. It really is.
It's the Old Testament. But, because the Bible also has so many contradictions in it, then that really fucks with interpretation as well. Because even if you take the Bible as the unvarnished word of God, then you're still going to have to interpret some of it because one thing in one book completely contradicts something in another book.
Yeah, it's like reading the diaries of Andy Dick. I don't know. Andy was different on Tuesday, that's for certain. Andy's feeling real sorry on Thursday.
Yes, he is. Evangelicals, the King James, that's their version, and they love every word.
Yeah, LeBron, man.
I do love LeBron.
Well, in addition to the schism within Puritanism, a royal decree opened the immigration of Massachusetts to all faiths, meaning Quakers and Baptists and the like were all starting to fill New England. And when I say all faiths, I mean all Christian faiths.
Yes. And there's a little bit, obviously, I'm real glad we didn't get too granular on this because it does get pretty sleepy.
Yeah.
But there is stuff it is kind of interesting that plays into it. The idea that basically the Massachusetts colony was also getting too rich and powerful on their own, separate away from England. So then they have to figure out a new way to rip apart the inner governments of and these places, being well, now they're basically forming their own country 1,500 miles from us.
Right.
We need to figure out a way to kind of separate all this and dissipate their little colony.
Yeah.
Rise from your grave.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing? Ben Kissel here with Henry Zabrowski.
Yeah, it's me, man.
Yeah, bro. Henry Zabrowski is smoking some of that sweet last podcast on the left, babe. So go out there and purchase yourself some. I hope you enjoy it. We have sativa, we have indica, and we have a hybrid. And I have to tell you, from my personal experience, they are wonderful.
Super tasty live resin. You really get the delicious weedy taste, which is what I like. And 3 different experiences. You go to your local vape store and get it.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. We absolutely love you. Can't wait to see you on the road and get that vape, put it in your brain, and have a good time.
And if you want us at your favorite weed store, give them a call and ask for them by name.
Absolutely.
Last podcast on the left, it's weed.
Hail yourselves, everyone.
Hail Satan.
Now, nobody told the Puritans they couldn't be Puritans anymore. But it was becoming obvious by the late 1600s that their status as top dog in charge of everything was soon coming to an end. And really, the Puritans probably would have stayed in power for far longer than they did, if not for the Salem Witch Trials. As it is today, with a decline and widespread freakout of evangelical Christians, the tighter the Puritans grasped, the faster everything slipped through their fingers.
It's almost like minority rule over a group of people that all believe they're 75% against what you believe, but you're in charge. And then the more you clamp down, it's sort of a rip society apart.
Yeah. I could see that in this movie. Keanu, he just has one nugget. He doesn't even eat the Chinese food. It's just one chicken nugget.
You mean that he eats one? I thought you meant he had one testicle.
I thought,
and that's a character choice.
Interesting, but that's just more. That's in his character bio. If you ask him in
he goes to an all-you-can-eat buffet and just has a little bit.
He just shows that's about control.
Exactly.
But outside of all the spiritual hand-wringing and environmental factors, New England in the late 1600s was also a horrifically violent place owing to the many frontier wars waged against the indigenous population. By far the worst of these was King Philip's War, which lasted 14 months from 1675 till 1676, about 15 years before Salem.
It sounds pretty rough. Yeah. It was pretty violent. It's like our own version of Vietnam.
Yeah.
But it was even more, it was bad because they didn't even have machine guns, which kill you quick. This is just arrows.
This is just hacking and slashing.
And muskets.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would just tell someone who was suffering from PTSD from Vietnam that they had it too good.
You didn't really see a war. You get in a time machine, I'll show you a fucking war.
We've actually covered King Philip's War once before. Some say that's why the Bridgewater Triangle is so haunted, because that's where King Philip's War took place.
Oh.
And this war was a last-ditch effort by the Wampanoag and Narragansett peoples to stop English settlement. Specifically, the colonies targeted were founded by Puritans, who all believed that the natives of New England were heathens in league with Satan.
Satan!
Now, King Philip's War was the bloodiest per capita in United States history in terms of just sheer numbers killed.
Wow.
Half of the entire indigenous population of New England died from either war, disease, starvation, and hundreds upon hundreds of colonists died, and there weren't that many to begin with.
So it sets a dark tone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it also holds the distinction of being perhaps the goriest, most nightmarish war ever fought in America. I mean, yeah, the Civil War, it was fucking bad. It was horrible.
Right.
But King Philip's War is a fucking horror movie.
Yeah, dude. People just like, I was reading accounts of like young women being like,
I saw my brother falling on the field, and they were all the men with their hacksaws and their axes playing with his entrails.
and you're like, cool. I mean, my first reaction is like, whoa, awesome. And you're like, oh, trauma.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder, you probably learn a lot about the human body that way, don't you?
You do.
You do.
I don't think they were interested, though. The Wampanoag, they were interested in psychological warfare.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They regularly mutilated the bodies of slain soldiers and colonists, hanging body parts from trees and sticking heads atop poles, in addition to sometimes wearing the body parts of the men they killed into their next battle.
See how I got that one dude's head on my head?
It's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool, right? Is this a head on a hat?
I think I mean, if I was going into war, I'd be like, whoa, dude, bunch of leather faces out there, man. Like,
Yeah.
I think let's not go to war today.
Well, they were very much so outnumbered.
Mhm.
And so they had to do what they had to do to try to figure out, like, how do we not get steamrolled here?
You got to go full Jeffrey Dahmer in prison. You got to lean in and scare the hell out of people.
Well, in response, the Puritans came back disproportionately harder. They burned hundreds of old people, women, and children alive by setting the fort where they were hiding on fire. The Narragansetts then took 9 colonists to a place now called 9 Men's Misery, where those 9 men were tortured, then clubbed to death.
Oh, that's a good ladies only bar name.
9 Men's Misery.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of dancers, Chippendales crying on stage. He's just
Cry
like my
more!
husband. Cry. Just like my husband.
Well, amongst those tortures was something called the gauntlet, wherein men were made to run naked through a row of natives while being whipped to tatters, after which flesh would be cut from their legs and fire would be inserted into the wounds.
Whoa.
Near the end, the English soldiers were cutting the toes and fingers from Narragansetts, breaking their legs and beating the brains out of their skulls. And they did that in response to the further mutilation of bodies and the hanging of even more body parts of the English. And that at this point, the Narragansetts were hanging severed heads from trees by hooks like it was a fucking wax museum.
Whoa. And honestly, I think by the point you're like sitting there and be like, how do we top this?
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
guys, what else we do? I got an idea. We take a tree. You know these Christmas trees these guys like, right?
Yeah.
We take some guts. We wrap it around the tree. Perverse, evil. I'm just spitting here.
Yeah.
But we make Christmas evil for them. They're scared of Christmas.
I mean, it might be the first ornament.
Could be. Finally, though, like Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Finally, though, King Philip's War ended when the leader of the tribes, the titular King Philip, was hung, drawn and quartered, and beheaded. For the next 20 years, Philip's head sat on a spike at Plymouth Colony, where it was seen by Puritans every single day. Again, it's a dark fucking place.
Yeah.
Hey, Philip, you got any gum?
Real good stuff there.
You got any gum?
Hey, you got any gum?
Fantastic. So it was like literally a landmark where take a right by King Philip's head.
Yeah.
The house will be on the left.
Which for them to all know. It's for them to all
Wow.
understand, because that was wasn't that during the English Civil War? And that's what, like,
Somewhat. It was more about the Narragansetts than it was about the Puritans. It wasn't about this is what we'll do to you if you fuck up. This is about like this is what we'll do to you if you attack us again. Leave us the fuck alone.
20 years, though. Is it just a skull at the end, or there's still some meat on that bone?
yeah, it's probably skull. It might be naturally, it might be kind of naturally preserved by
No.
the atmosphere, but it's probably just
at
skull.
that time. No, because Massachusetts get real humid. So that flesh is going to
just a
slide
skull.
right off. Yeah, it's just a skull at that
That's cool,
point.
though.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. Now, to the Puritans, these bloody, costly, and destructive wars were proof that the Christian man in America was in spiritual decline.
Oh.
Yes. And along with the bad weather, it all signaled that God's wrath was coming home to roost, along with the devil's mischief.
Yes, he's coming with his short shorts.
Uh-oh.
Chocolate-covered pretzels. 2 naughty treats wrapped into one. The devilish delight.
I love it when there's salted pretzels. Ooh, salt and chocolate. So technically, by this logic, God only reigns in Florida
Yes.
because it's just beautiful weather. But I've been there.
Yeah.
It's not God. It is the opposite of God's country.
Hurricanes.
Oh, that's very true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
never
God's
mind.
going to get you. No matter where you go, God's going to get you.
Yay.
Well, the last straw, it seemed, was the establishment of the Dominion of England, which brought New England back under British rule and threatened the Puritan dominance in the New World.
You were like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
They were just like, all right, fuck it. Because they were starting making their own country. I deal with this. I was trying to play Crusader Kings 3.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
a
the thing.
difficult game. It's very complicated.
But these guys all start there. You started the place, right? And all these guys have the nerve to try to take over their own place. Now that they're there doing all the work, cultivating all the fields, building all the cities, digging all the roads, blah, 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 blah. These are my cities.
That's
It's
what
my
I tell
roads.
every single war vet, again, who's out there asking for change because they have PTSD. I'm like, I played Call of Duty.
Hey,
and I'm not out
think
there.
about me.
Think about me. I'm fine. Why aren't you fine?
Well, the Dominion was only the latest in a long string of governmental changes because since its founding, Massachusetts had switched between being an independent and a royal colony several times in just a few decades. And each time it flipped, tax laws, property laws, and religious laws changed, i.e. life sucks and everything is hard.
Things were in total chaos.
And things were unpredictable.
Mhm. But the one law that stayed the same throughout, no matter if the colony was English or independent, was thus.
If any man or woman be a witch that is hath or consulteth with a familiar spirit, they shall be put to death.
That's the only law
That's the
stuck?
only constant.
The most abstract, bizarre law that's ever been written down?
Yes.
I'm sure there were a couple others, but that's the standout.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting about this colonial history is that one of the largest groups of accusers in Salem originally either hailed from Maine or had close family who had lived in Maine. This was important because in 1689, about 2 or 3 years before Salem, 3 years before Salem, actually, King Philip's War had a bit of a redo.
I call it a remix.
Yes. Is it a prequel?
When the Wabanaki tribe laid waste to most of Maine's Puritan settlements, capturing or killing 300 colonists and reducing pretty much every settlement to ash.
Yeah.
War, what is it good for?
That's right.
The economy.
Yes, that's right.
Those who escaped ended up in Massachusetts, with many settling in or around Salem, seemingly chased out of their land, but by what they were told were minions of the devil. And also very fucking crazy PTSD on top of that. You've got this insane PTSD seeing people murdered and all kind of like, I'm just brutally fucking murdered. Your home is burnt to the ground, and also the devil is real.
The devil is real. Every single spirit is real. Every single place you go into the woods. At night, there's no lights. It's pure black of night every time you go outside of your house. And the winters are horrible. The summers are even worse. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There is a lot of misery, it sounds like.
Now, the insane trauma of King Philip's War was still very much in living memory. It was only 15 years before.
Right.
And when you combine that with the current trauma of another frontier war, you had a lot of people with PTSD who believed that these wars were happening because God was pissed they didn't go to church enough.
Do you remember the Black Plague? They tried to do that too. They said that.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. It keeps coming up.
You want to get everyone together, screaming in a tight room.
It's always remember, like, yes, it's basically just saying, like, I know, the ocean has taken Florida back, but you got to stay on the Patreon. Like, listen, I know things are okay, but honest, we got stickers coming out.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, furthermore, the native population had formed alliances with the much hated French. And
The French?
The French, yeah.
Were they always hated?
The English always hated them.
Well, it's because they had was the war, the Red Roses.
Many wars. So many
Yeah.
wars between England and France.
Why
so
they just
many.
fucking not?
They're just right there, because the English are there, right there, and the French are right
just
there.
fucking be chill as hell.
I don't know, man. I think it's genetic because the French still look at me and they just instinctively hate me. I don't know what it is.
I think it was because you were going through a glam phase when you met most of the French people you knew.
But what does that have to do with it?
Yeah, the French don't mind glam.
Yeah, the French would love glam.
You were too sexual for them. You thought that you were too sexual to be an American.
No, the French are all about lube.
Yeah.
They were jealous.
And then when I talk to them and a Texas accent comes out, it confuses them and therefore they get angry.
Yeah, absolutely. And they got their striped shirts on. They hit you with a fucking baguette. I don't know what happens with French culture. We're about to go.
We are.
I can't wait. French bread, so good.
No. Well, additionally, the only
there it's just bread.
No, I know.
Like we call it French bread because we sell to fucking huge morons.
It's bacon. It's Canadian bacon in Canada's bacon. You fucking troll.
It's a specific cut of bacon. It's pea meal bacon.
Pea meal.
That's what it's called.
Let's call it Canadian, please.
Well, additionally, the only remaining minister in Maine with unquestioned Puritan credentials was killed in a Wabanaki raid, signaling more than anything else that the devil was winning the war.
Man, just lean in, bro.
Yeah.
Just fucking you get bikinis. They could have gotten bikinis in 1700s.
Yeah.
Sounds like it was freezing cold.
I know.
Oh, yeah, I guess in Massachusetts. No, because in Massachusetts you get to Kennebunkport.
Yeah, you go down there.
Yeah.
You go down to Old Harbor.
No, that's in Maine. No, that's in Maine. Man, no,
I just know you don't go down that road.
Don't go down that road.
Mm-hmm. Wow, guys. It took 500 episodes for you guys finally to do racist accents.
We did not research the Maine.
Don't go down that road now.
No, yeah. That's Maine. But what was the nice one in New England? That they always had port. So
there, well, you got Cape Cod.
Cape Cod.
I think that's New Hampshire. I don't fucking know. We were not New Englanders. You know what I mean?
All I know is I'm just constantly replaying John Cena's theme song in my head throughout this entire series.
What is it?
Dun 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 dun. No, it's
this is brutal. Dun, 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 dun.
Worse, it's John Cena.
That's just three on tuneless notes.
What does he say? What is his catchphrase? You didn't do that.
Hey, I'm not that guy.
You can't see me.
Can't see me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I guess.
Peekaboo. Is that it?
Dun 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 dun.
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
Everyone's just fucking pulling their car into oncoming traffic. They're writing the reviews.
He's the greatest wrestler
the
to
head
come
of
from
the
Massachusetts.
Tribune this is the one moment he's heard of the show.
Newspapers are dead.
Yeah, good. Good.
Yeah, thank God.
Well, perhaps not coincidentally, though, the killing of the last Puritan minister in Maine occurred in January of 1692, just when the first afflicted in Salem began showing the more intense symptoms of bewitchment. Now, prior to the witch hysteria, Puritan ministers tried strengthening their grip on the colony by enforcing laws against blasphemy, cursing, profane swearing, lying, unlawful gaming, Sabbath breaking, idleness, drunkenness, and uncleanliness.
That is Kissel's entire life.
I think I was like Marty McFly slowly being erased from that picture. I could just see my entire essence disappearing.
But no, it's they thought the best way to do this again is clamp. Let's clamp down on them.
Well, I mean, you also got to remember, like with Puritans, like it wasn't necessarily cynical. Like, I mean, these are people who believe that the devil is real.
Well, they're truly
they're
afraid.
trying to stem the tide of the devil.
Real question: what could they do? If they you literally just listed what humans do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What could they do?
They could pray. They could go to the tavern and have a beer.
So they could have a beer.
They
could have a beer. Yeah.
Like one of the I was reading this one thing.
The commerce.
Yeah,
capitalism.
you know, not to put money into it, but the idea I was reading in this history of the Christians being labeled as cannibals and demon slayers. Like the first guys that kind of got were the guys that like. There was a series of guys that were weavers that revolutionized. This is fascinating.
Yeah, weavers.
Okay?
Anytime you say the word weavers, I'm in it, bro.
Settlers of the Catan. I don't want to be here. You did this to me, Marcus. I used to be cool.
You
Tell
really
me
did.
more about weaving, please.
No, don't blame Settlers of Catan on me. That's Holden.
No, I don't play Settlers of Catan because you can't kill.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the Puritans were able to enforce these laws, basically legislating morality, because they just overthrown English governor Sir Edmund Andros, who had received the displeasure of the Puritans partly for his failed campaign against the Wabanaki in Maine. Now, after Andros was gone, the crown instituted a sort of middle ground between sole Puritan sovereignty and sole English rule. Because during Andros's reign, he had welcomed in Quakers, he had welcomed in Baptists, he had actually founded the first Church of England in Boston. So it's not just the Puritans anymore.
Sounds like this guy's a real lib turd.
He was trying to do the thing which works, which is like, let's bring in a varied group of people to help the society. A bunch of different people doing different jobs, from different backgrounds. Yeah. Let's open it up. And
I mean, it's not that big of a tent. It's still just white Christians.
Yes.
Bigger tent.
Bigger tent than it was.
Yes.
Now, basically, that the middle ground between sole Puritan sovereignty and sole English rule, basically this meant that Puritans had to live under English law, but they could enforce those laws through Puritan rule, which is sort of how we have freedom of religion in America, but our judicial and legislative branches are currently governed from either the perspective or the strong influence of evangelical Christianity.
I certainly hope that everything doesn't fall apart because of it.
I mean, we have active people in power wanting to bring theocracy to America. So it happens. It's a constant struggle, is it not?
I would say bring theocracy back to America, because the Puritans were very much a theocracy. Before Andros brought in all of this, like, it was by law that you had to be a Puritan to live in Massachusetts. You had to attend church service. You had to be a Puritan. You couldn't vote if you weren't a Puritan. You couldn't own land if you weren't a Puritan. There was all kinds of shit.
I'm talking federal government. I'm talking to federal government.
Sounds like except for
Well, okay, put it this way. You could be a Quaker in Massachusetts by law in 1692. That was allowed. But your beliefs were not represented in the Puritan government, and you may in fact even be despised by that government, even though the Puritans in charge were quickly fading away into the minority.
Do you get aroused if you see a pig wag its tail so you can see his butthole? You might be a Quaker.
I see Puritans love a good joke. That's a Puritan joke.
That's a Puritan
great joke.
But concerning the government in Massachusetts, when the witch accusations kicked off, there really wasn't one to speak of outside of the local municipalities who handled their own problems and enforced their own rules. This was because the government in 1692, at least early 1692, it was still in transition to the Middle Ground Charter. In other words, nobody is in charge. People are scared. The devil is real. Life sucks and everything is hard.
It keeps building.
Yeah.
It really does. And the fact that there was no charter, they literally had just gotten rid of all of the laws. So they had to figure it out. There was just kind of some main kind of hangover from the previous administration, the people that were running it. But they had yet to, when all of this started happening, they had yet to start a new constitution for themselves. So they were just fucked.
Yeah.
It's like halfway through the movie Animal House when their charter is revoked, but they have a great time. But it seems like they didn't have a great time.
They had fun with it. Besides some of the light sexual assault that's in the film, they actually had fun in it.
Yes. It sounds like it could have been a great time for music. Seems like everything is going horrible.
Yeah, dude.
But the devil is real. But why didn't someone just pick up a violin and start shredding?
Chunky Flu was all over it. Okay. Puritans actually they had singing at church.
Yeah. Well, the violin didn't really come to America until you started having Irish immigrants coming over and Eastern European immigrants coming over. And at the same time, that's when the banjo started coming. The banjo was brought by Africans, and then those two
Listen
things.
to this guy. You fucking how dare you?
Oh, Mr. Violin, get your violin.
And those are the two things that combined to form country music.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I watched Kim Burns' country music. I know these things.
I
learned this
love
stuff.
that documentary.
Oh, yeah.
From the simple bump on top of a basket to a long-legged man and all in denim. Country music was the rage across this great nation of ours. And over the next 429 hours, I will describe each button, each tremulous note on a banjo.
That country music documentary was 16 hours long.
Yes, because it was amazing. I had a chance to interview Ken Burns, and my friend, yes, you do sound like him a little bit, but because it's the details.
Yeah, it is the details. But on the other hand, I will say that documentary didn't go into outlaw country enough. Not enough details on outlaw country.
It's because he didn't like cocaine.
Yes, and Ken probably didn't. I can't imagine that he related.
Yeah, to Waylon and Merle and all that.
Very sweet. He's a sweet man.
Yes, he is. Well, all of this is to say that life for a devout Massachusetts Puritan in 1692 was a highly anxious existence. And Salem, rural backwater that it was, had the reputation of being even more anxious and even more combative than the rest of Massachusetts. It was a pain-in-the-ass town full of pain-in-the-ass people who all pretty much hated each other.
Sitcom!
See, in the 1650s and 1660s, Salem became a town more associated with commerce than farming, which caused a rift between town residents and farm residents.
Just team up.
No.
I don't get it. Team up.
Nope. Resentments grew, and the founding families became alienated from the newcomers. This is just one of the first schisms that will rip Salem apart.
Yeah, schism is actually really. Schisms happen a lot during this whole time period.
It seems like it.
Everyone's coming up with new shit. You know, everyone's trying to figure out what this new era of the world is going to be, this new era of humanity. You know, things it's after the Enlightenment, it's after all this shit. You know, they're reading Thomas Paine. I don't know what the fuck's going on now.
Better not make it any fun.
Yeah, definitely not.
Don't want that.
Well, after that, the smaller Salem settlements formed into their own towns, raising their own taxes and hiring their own ministers, which caused even more disputes. That, however, didn't solve anything internally, because disputes in the Salem area occurred on even a level as micro as the local meeting house. See, if you wanted to worship and fellowship in rural colonial Massachusetts, you'd go to the meeting house at the center of each town. This was where villagers received communion and baptized their children.
And Puritan stance, they had that was one of the things that they rebelled against, was the rigid things and the amount of rituals that the Catholic Church did, because they amounted it to idolatry.
Yeah.
Like, you were not supposed to be taking the Eucharist all the time. They felt that it was a thing you did once or twice a year. Like, it was for those that were truly saved. They were the ones that were really kind of a part of it. They felt that the Catholics were far too brazen, allowing anybody to take the Eucharist.
Yeah.
And
you gotta be Catholic, though.
But they also felt that when you knelt and you believe, like, the idea of, like, that Eucharist became the blood and the flesh of Christ, which is what the Catholics believe, and that if you kneel at it, you're worshiping the Eucharist, which they also felt was idolatry. And so they kept it, their thing was like, societally, it's real tight.
Yeah.
But ritually, it's real loose. Like, we just kind of throw it out there. Baptism's the most important thing. And then going to supper.
Yeah.
You're going to want to have supper. What's it called?
Supper.
Transmutation.
I believe it's transubstantiation.
Transubstantiation, yeah.
There we go. I remember Catholic school.
Well, the Puritans, they were focused on the important shit. The seating chart.
I don't know. Oh, God, no.
It's never changed in New England. It hasn't changed ever since. They don't even go. The fights that must happen at New England weddings.
And I can already see their great granddaughters right now, the head of the HOA, driving everyone freaking insane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean, really, a lot of the disagreements in Salem, it's HOA shit. It's a lot. It's these really petty, small grievances that fucking add up.
You're going to want to notice your fence is not quite high enough, and I can see you changing.
Yeah.
I watch you change every day, and it should be illegal to watch how slowly you put on a pair of pants.
Oh.
Well, seating in the meeting house was not first come, first serve, but assigned and based on social rank.
See, I'm actually not against this because I don't like the Southwest Airlines approach. I don't like to have to fight for my seat, but I also don't like the idea of it being like a hierarchy, but also I like a good assigned seat.
Complicated.
But that's the thing, is that you chose that seat when you bought that airline ticket. They did not choose that for you. The seating here is being chosen for you.
But it's still assigned.
It's
very much so, but it's like how you get
assigned?
invited to what you find out about, like, quote unquote Hollywood show business parties, that you find out a lot of times you're invited to certain levels.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got that red band? Great, you can come to this small bar.
Right.
Oh, unfortunately, if you want to go to that other place, you're gonna need a turquoise band as well. And then you find out, like, how low you are on the totem pole by where you're allowed to drink one watered down whiskey drink.
Absolutely, which is why you should never go to those things.
Well, the wealthy were at the front, and everyone else was behind them. And the children, servants, and enslaved people were all up in the balconies. The seating custom, however, brought its own problems. In 1680, in Andover, where many later witchcraft accusations would occur, remember, it wasn't just Salem, a new meeting house was built, which meant a new seating plan.
Oh, fuck!
Man.
Just got this fucking figured out!
You didn't fucking think about that, Larry. Hey, Larry, you didn't think about that, did you?
Listen, okay. No seats. Everybody
No
stands.
seats?
Fuck everybody. Where do they stand?
This set neighbor upon neighbor in yet another friction-inducing incident.
And this is so fucked up where it's just like, these are the tiny things that led up to mass executions.
It's crazy how simple it all is.
Oh, it's very small. It's very silly. And remember, this is a community. These communities are at most 500 people. Salem was about 500.
Sounds like they're all Milton from Office Space. She's like, if I get to be in the goddamn middle again, I'm going to
It is like that because, again,
if I'm in the middle, see one more fucking time.
These are the last little things that give them any form of status or hold in their society. And they are all because, again, the crops are fucked.
Right.
They are in total absolute chaos.
And remember, they're importing all of their food. All of their foodstuffs are being imported. So you have insane inflation.
Yeah.
You have depression. They're fighting these frontier wars. The fucking colonial government is like printing more and more money off, which makes it even worse. Like everything is fucked.
So this is the only thing you got. It's like, I sat in row B.
And remember, everyone here is living under a tremendous amount of stress and pressure just to survive everyday life. Every day is a gift to these people. And additionally...
Doesn't sound like a gift.
No, it sounds like a fucking...
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, any day you don't choke on your own fucking phlegm, that is a good day.
Nice.
Yes.
Additionally, these people were not living anywhere even close to modern New England. If you've ever been out in those forests or even driven through New England at night, you can attest that it can be a terrifying place.
Yeah.
And it's said that New England felt haunted even before so many colonists and indigenous people died out there.
That's why Ted Kennedy did what he did.
Yeah, left that woman to die.
He was so scared of the ghost.
Oh, he was.
That was the thing. As soon as the girl was dying, he was sitting there, and then like he saw them. Oh, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then he could never be president. He just had to be a senator for 50 GD years.
That's all.
Oh.
And since people were already living under such a constant state of anxiety, the small frictions that naturally occur between neighbors became highly contentious, spiteful, and as serious as life and death. This was all made worse, of course, by the fact that the Puritans of Salem couldn't hold on to a minister willing to put up with their shit to save their lives. Because, as I said, many of them, if not most of them, were pains in the ass.
Do you remember what it would be like to be a mod in a Facebook group in the early 2000s, mid 2000s? Like, it's that. You're just looking at a bunch of people all ready at everybody's throats about the dumbest shit possible while everything is falling apart.
It also is further evidence that the minister indeed is a human position, and you can just see these ministers like, y'all are fucking nuts, huh? So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna take my God and go.
I'm gonna go because also what's weird too is that because they were anti the idea that they were like gatekeepers to God. They were very anti that. So it's kind of funny how these pastors in their world were still important, even though, like, you know, they weren't the God's X-Men like priests were in the Catholic Church.
But they're meant to be community leaders.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are there to soothe tensions. That's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
But in Salem, they were quite the hard cat to tame. In 1684,
it's hard to
I don't
tame
know
a cat.
Yeah, I know it's hard to tame a cat.
Exceptionally hard.
Feral cat.
I'd say
a feral cat. I don't know why the fuck I said that, but a feral cat is very difficult to tame.
It was a hard horse to make dance.
Absolutely, especially if it wants to dance backwards.
Well, in 1684, Salem hired a minister named Deodat Lawson, who in his attempt to unify the village only made enemies. Faction formed both in support and in defiance of Reverend Lawson, which introduced new divisions into a community that already had too many to keep track of.
How am I doing? How am I doing? Everyone, how am I doing?
Listen, I'm sorry I put in benches instead of individual chairs, and you all have to share the benches, and you're not sure where the territory.
Actually, Mary gained 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And she's
That's
in my...
rude, by the way.
No, she's in my
pregnant.
seat.
That's rude.
She's coming into my seat.
Mary's sitting for two
Can
now.
you move her?
Mary, will you get up and allow Samantha?
She's in my seat.
Lawson, though, he left after his wife and child died in Salem.
Jesus.
Life is hard,
and everything sucks.
All right.
He had been the third minister to serve in Salem Village in 16 years. This was a time and place. A minister's average time of service in a town, 22 years. And they've gone through 3 and 16.
Yeah, so they just get all the guys that have reached the end of their career. They just get all of whoever wants the shitty assignment.
Well, it's whoever is kind of new and doesn't really give a shit, and that's how they got minister number 4, a lantern-jawed pain in the ass who fit right in. Named Samuel Paris.
Ooh, I've heard this name before.
Yeah, fuck this fucking guy. I hate this guy.
He's the worst. Also, he's a failed businessman. Like, he's pastor is like the 3rd thing he's done in life.
Okay.
Rise from your grave.
A roast as dark as the night, perfect for fueling the cryptid research and mad ravings required for your podcasting. Don't mind the red eyes. He's just trying to warn you of the bridge.
The bridge.
Finally, from the caffeine-addled brains of Spring Hill Jack Coffee and Last Podcast on the Left, we bring you Mothman's Red Eye Blend. Yes, delicious Panama beans. Go to lastpodcastmerch.com to order yours today.
Now, Paris came in hard, immediately demanding a higher salary than the last guy, Deodat Lawson, so he could, quote-unquote, help the community prosper.
Oh, that only makes sense to give him more money then.
This all is about you, and it's certainly not about me.
So we're going to give you more money to help us.
The whole thing is when you give me money.
Yeah?
Don't you want to see me smile?
I love it.
That really helps me get in here and go, oh, you're a bunch of bitches and you should all be killed by the Lord.
And then if there's a big storm, you'll help us out, right? Like we can come here and seek shelter?
Let the preacher keep himself safe first.
Okay.
Because I need to, honestly, it's better for me to meet God if we die first, and then I can help you get all in there,
Awesome. Here's all our money because we don't have a lot to begin with.
Well, additionally, Paris also demanded free firewood so he could, quote unquote, write his sermons at night.
Oh, now we're going to deal with your insomnia?
Yeah. And after 8 months of negotiating on how many ducats they'd give him, or pounds by this point, how many pounds, how much free firewood, how often, he and the village finally agreed on a price. Samuel Paris began preaching in Salem in November of 1689, less than 3 years before the trials that made Salem infamous began. Now, immediately, Samuel Paris told his parishioners that he was going to crusade for moral reformation and he was going to increase church membership. At the same time, though, Paris, a Puritan hardliner, had refused the only thing that made increasing Puritan membership feasible. That was the halfway covenant.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, what's that?
You got a coupon for half off your soul.
Okay.
See, because Puritans had the well-deserved reputation as strict reactionaries, their numbers had quickly declined within a single generation in America. We went through all the reasons why. By 1662, 30 years before Salem, the Puritans were so desperate to bring back members that they came up with a highly confusing compromise called the Halfway Covenant.
It's called the family plan.
Yeah.
Okay, this is great.
This, I think, said that children of non-members could be baptized into the church, making their parents partial members who could participate in every aspect of Puritan worship except partaking in the Lord's Supper.
Okay.
That's what they called communion.
Sure.
Well, they also didn't, it's like they didn't have to come to church all the time. So basically, you kind of get off the hook for some of the more stricter provisions of being a Puritan, but you're also allowed to get baptized, which allows you to vote.
Awesome.
And be within the culture.
It makes all the sense in the world. Definitely an all-knowing, all-powerful God would come up with this.
Yeah, I mean, they always come up with really minute, specific jurisprudence.
Like,
that's how you know it's genuinely from the Lord.
Absolutely not at all a human creation. No.
Well, appropriately, of the 5 Puritan ministers accused of witchcraft during the Salem Witch Trials, 5 ministers, all 5 had accepted the halfway covenant, while Samuel Paris, arguably the driving spiritual force of the trials, was a staunch opponent.
It's like he helped make it all happen, but then kind of got away without it fucking with him at all.
Weird.
Now, by Paris's second year in Salem, he'd only gained 7 new members.
But they're big. As you can see, if you look at each one of them, each one is fairly large, so some stand for at least 3.
Pound for pound. Absolutely.
This was far less than he'd promised.
Okay.
And the parishioners he'd started with only showed up to church every once in a while because nobody really liked Samuel Parris.
He wasn't good at it.
No.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, Parris did what many religious leaders in decline do. What do you think, Ben? What do you think he did?
What do you think he did?
I'm going to assume he said, you can come in and you can have more wine.
Interesting.
No.
More wine?
More wine.
More wine.
2 words. Bikini car wash.
Bikini car wash. It is so funny to me growing up religious when people go to churches and they scout pastors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but then some pastors be like, I just didn't like his delivery.
Yeah, they
it's the
really
same
do.
as like someone going to see stand up and be like, he's no Fluffy.
They look at it because, again, he is especially in this time period, he's the central figure of your whole life.
Yeah.
Like you go and you're supposed to like this guy, right?
You
like the radio.
You got to see him like 2 times a week. You got to go and listen to him. I mean, yeah, it is like imagine going to see a stand-up comic you don't like for an hour twice a week.
It's called being a stand-up.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's all
it
you
is.
do.
Well, no, he did not do bikini car wash.
Oh, well.
He did not say more free wine. He turned up the volume on the paranoia and fear. He gave warlike sermons in which Jesus Christ was not a prince of peace, but a champion of conquest and an enemy of evil.
Also, folks, you're going to want to invest in your tactical bath. I got a tactical bath here. As you can tell, my skin is falling off of my body.
there for 7 days.
Yes, indeed.
Now, Samuel Parris, as I said, he was not popular in Salem. And near the end of 1691, just a few months before the first afflicted appeared, quite a few people in Salem got tired of Parris's shit. They're about to go through number 4 in 18 years.
Jeez.
But since they couldn't fire Parris outright for whatever reason, they elected instead to just stop paying him.
Yeah, maybe you'll leave.
Yeah, maybe you'll leave. And they also cut off all his firewood just before a New England Little Ice Age winter began.
My poor wrists. What am I supposed to do? I just will. All right. Hope some of these trees are old. Hopefully, maybe I could just. I got to push. Give it a push. 7s. No,
I
7s.
do love they just stopped paying him and be like, he'll leave.
Yeah.
We know how to get rid of these pastors.
Now, there were a few people backing Samuel Parris, mostly those who were the most devout and hardline.
Sour-faced old bitches.
Yeah, partly. So instead of soothing tensions, Parris doubled down and only made the divisions in Salem worse by demonizing those who would stand against him.
Well, that was like every single time I used to go, like my mom used to sing in the Christmas choir, and the one time I would enter a church to support my mother, right?
I
would go
would have
in.
loved to see that.
And she
How
loved
was your
it.
voice?
My mom has a beautiful voice.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, she really does.
Runs in the family. All the Zabrowskis have a great singing voice.
She was a trained singer. She went to college for music. That's what she was supposed to do.
Fantastic.
And she ended up with you.
Yep. She's thankful. But I remember going into the church and it was just like, again, obviously this is when I were past being a Satanist or whatever. And I'm looking at the every single time the priest would just bawl everybody out for the only time people come is at Christmas. And I was like, you fucking moron. You should be crushing it right now. You should be up there in your A game. You should be making us laugh, making us cry, because then you're not, all you do is bitch us out every single time we come to fucking church. I'm not coming back here.
Nope. That's a little lesson as well. Speaking of stand-up comedy, if there's 4 people there, don't crucify them for showing up.
No, play the crowd that you got.
Play to the crowd that's there.
Well, Parris raised the stakes even higher in October of 1691, just a few months before the accusations began, when the perfect scapegoat appeared in nearby Chelmsford. It's probably Helmsford. Or Helmsford or something awful. There.
Fantastic.
There, a woman named Martha Sparks, which is my new female alias, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Martha Sparks.
Marcus Parks and Martha Sparks, do you wed?
Yes. Yes. You see that picture that we put up for the socials. You
I've seen me as a woman.
Sexy, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. I would have been a pretty girl.
But you was wasted on being a man.
Unfortunately.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We've asked you to be a woman a lot.
You really have.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wish.
It's my choice.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Martha Sparks was charged with witchcraft and sent to prison. Now, once Parris heard of this diabolical infection just 30 or so miles away, he began to carefully calculate his sermons with the purpose of scaring his opponents into ending their opposition by saying the devil was coming for Salem.
Look, he's over there!
Whoa!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was Brian? Why are you crouching? Are we shitting? We need toilets. What is happening here?
It is a horrible time to be alive, but interesting. So it wasn't Salem that was the first witch. The first witch wasn't detected in Salem. It was 30 miles out.
Yeah, it really was.
Oh.
Now, if Samuel Parris was a fearmonger on the pulpit, one can only imagine what kind of anxiety monster he was at home.
Someone burnt the broccoli. It's the devil himself.
Broccoli wasn't invented yet.
I mean, wasn't invented?
No, broccoli was invented.
Huh.
It was, all right, when was...
No, broccoli is man-made. It came around in the 60s.
Comes out, when was broccoli invented?
1960s.
6th century. It was around.
It was not around.
You got the 6th right?
No, it was not
around.
It was
first introduced to England in the mid-18th century.
Yeah, so it wasn't around.
I guess it wasn't around then.
I guess it wasn't. I'm so fucking sorry. My little act out was it historically perfect.
But it was introduced to England in the 1800s. Was it introduced by America? Was it introduced?
No, we didn't
much
have
like
it.
the tomato was an American fruit first.
Okay, let's just move on.
The tomato?
I'm going to end this whole show.
They didn't have anything.
Well, it's almost certain that Samuel Parris believed his own bullshit. Therefore, the Parris household was one of stress. Stress about Parris's salary, stress about their dwindling supply of firewood in the face of winter, and the stress of believing that the patriarch was preparing himself to have a personal battle with the devil.
Oh my gosh.
Most likely, this was all Samuel Parris talked about at home. So it is certainly not a coincidence that the first to be afflicted by witchcraft in Salem was Samuel Parris's daughter and niece.
Because one thing we'll talk about in this society is that, again, children especially were to be seen and not heard. They were a part of the workforce.
They were barely people.
And so I think that there is a stripe. I did start reading another book on the Salem Witch Trials that I think was called The Witches, that kind of talked a little bit about that and this idea that, it kind of become a way for you to say, like, hello, Father, will you please pay attention to me? Will you say hello to me?
Right.
And then you start to play into his fantasy a little bit.
Yeah, how you get into his hobby.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Witchcraft is technically Dad's hobby. Well, beginning in the fall of 1691, the two young girls began subtly twitching almost constantly.
Are you sure they just weren't on TikTok?
Get out of here.
Yeah. And that soon evolved into the violent jerking of body parts and frequent verbal outbursts. Eventually, they got worse when one girl woke to find her jaw jutting forward uncontrollably, all while her face contracted in spasms. The children soon began saying that they were being bitten by invisible specters, and their arms, necks, and backs twisted and contorted in ways that were seemingly impossible, all while they convulsed uncontrollably.
It's because he's never seen dancing. He's never seen anybody do vigorous things besides with a scythe.
Well, this is something that Natalie actually taught me on the ride back from San Diego, is that it's not that contortionism is impossible. It's just that your brain is telling you, don't do that.
Yeah, because you're going to hurt yourself. So you have to, the contortion training is what you're basically training your nervous system to be chill with you challenging it.
Yeah. But these girls, in the throes of whatever was happening to them, they were able to bypass that neurological function. Now, they were sometimes unable to talk, their throats sometimes became choked, and they reported that pins were being stuck into their flesh, all while specters, only they could see, pinched them repeatedly. And pinching, by the way, that could be anything from a little St. Patrick's Day tweak to agonizing torture.
Don't touch me on St. Patrick's fucking Day.
What is the St.
touch me
I never heard of that.
You never heard you get pinched if you don't wear green.
If you don't wear
on
green.
St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah.
I guess I always wore green.
Never heard of that? Is the only thing about St. Patrick's Day that you know when you're a child.
I've never heard of that.
Well, the thing is, I feel like the pinching...
That's crazy.
The pinching was
saying
a
that
thing
you've never heard of that.
Certain areas of the world, I think it's more talked about in terms of being appropriate to fucking pinch somebody. It's like birthday spanks. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
You know how many men convinced me I was supposed to get those?
No, when I was a kid, you didn't get pinched in the nipple or anything, or your bottom. Or
No, I mean, I got
genitals or
fucking.
anything.
I did get. What was it? What they call it?
Purple nurple?
Purple nurple. Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's because I have
different.
big old voluptuous titties, and people can't keep their hands off it.
You do?
Especially other little boys, because they don't fucking understand body autonomy.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah. Now, upon seeing all this, Samuel Parris could only come to the conclusion of witchcraft. So he brought a doctor to inspect the girls, a one Dr. Griggs.
Name's Dr. Griggs.
Sweet.
He too decided that the girls had come under an evil hand.
Come on, let's take a look at this. Well, you act a little bit too rock and roll to be normal.
Now, these days, most specialists agree that these girls and many of the afflicted who came after may have been suffering from a condition called conversion disorder.
What?
Which is, it's basically physicalized fear and anxiety.
It's kind of what we talked about, how like the concept of like letting yourself go crazy finally. Like there's like a thing, I know.
It's not like that. No, it's not about
as
letting
you get
yourself go
older,
crazy.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I feel like as the accusations increase, there's something about this idea of like giving yourself into the freedom of
Cutting
like,
loose.
I'm
Yeah.
crazy, you know, like, and just ready to go. You know,
Well, absolutely. And of course, in the evangelical belief, there's a lot of absolute freaking out going on.
oh yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
conversion disorder suggests that a person's anxiety, stress, and trauma can be converted into a very real and uncontrollable physical affliction like the ones exhibited by Samuel Parris's daughter and niece.
High stress.
Yeah, high stress. And I'm sure conversion disorder has probably been discounted or whatever.
You
We'll
know.
probably get a bunch of emails or something, but it is a theory. You know, it is
Dude, no, if you're-
it's a Freudian thing.
If you're super stressed out, yeah, it's just like,
Yeah,
like
there's a
you
lot
just-
of fucked
yeah.
up things that you
Yeah.
can exhibit, like rashes and ticks. It's still now.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
germane to the Salem Witch Trials is the possibility that in rare cases, conversion disorder can spread to other susceptible people like a virus. It's like a sort of anxiety as contagion.
Next episode, I plan to go in a little bit more about mass hysteria
Yeah.
and how and what its origins are.
Well, additionally, hyperventilation caused by fear can produce some of the other effects that were back then scientifically known as bewitchment. Hyperventilation can produce a cramped throat, suffocation, fainting, and extreme cases, seizures.
In our voice class in college, they made us hyperventilate.
How'd it go?
Stupid.
Okay.
Well, how does it help acting? I don't know. It was
sounds
all
awful.
about being vulnerable. And they also used to tell us breathe with our buttholes.
Is that right?
Wink it. Yep.
Oh,
Look at me
mama.
now. You see how I...
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm way open.
No, it just seems it gets stuck. I can feel it pushing up against my butthole.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just use our mouth and our nose. It seems like that's better.
Well, once the fear that causes these symptoms causes real pain, it confirms the sufferer's original fears, which in turn intensifies the pain, catching the sufferer in an ever-quickening vicious cycle. Now, from the Paris girls, the witchcraft hysteria slowly began to spread. On January 12th, 1692, a woman named Alice Parker was lying in the dirt and snow in Salem town, seemingly dead. Goodwife Parker had a history of, quote-unquote, fits of unconsciousness.
Yeah, sometimes I go to sleep.
Oh.
That's it. I just go to sleep. They don't know what happened to me. I fell out of a cart. But ever since then, sometimes I just go to sleep. Now, you know, that's me.
You got to take a nap sometimes.
You know what I found was fun about these times is that a lot of people died from falling out of carts.
I bet.
What?
Yeah, I think if you fell out of the front and the wheels crush you.
Oh,
it
you
would
get
save
trampled by the
you.
horses.
Yeah.
You want to sit in there. You
Yeah.
wanna sit down.
You
It's still,
sit
and it's
down.
not
Grab-
comfortable.
Well,
Grab something.
Well, back then, I mean, we know this woman was suffering from epilepsy, you know, and back then epilepsy was seen as a sign of the devil. And the men who were called to help this poor woman were scared to touch her because they might get some of the devil on them.
You're not going to get the devil on you.
Yeah. Finally, though, the men mustered up enough courage to carry her home and put her in bed. But as they tucked her in, she very suddenly sat up and began laughing uncontrollably. Yeah. She's a deadite.
Yeah, she's
Like,
a
it's-
deadite. Yeah, they're like, ah!
So cool.
And the villagers, they weren't far off from that conclusion. But while this wasn't specifically attached to witchcraft just yet, it certainly increased tensions in town.
Remember, man, this is still like, if you've ever been to the area, it's scary as fuck.
So fucking creepy. Yeah,
and
yeah.
so this type of shit, like on some level, it's funny to me, like imagining like her springing up, but also just the idea of a woman stiff as a board that you could be dead, and then you all like put her in. You're all deeply afraid of her because anything out of the normal is the work of the devil.
She could be evil dead.
Mm-hmm. Now, by February of 1692, Samuel Parris was firmly convinced that his daughter and niece were bewitched.
I am firmly convinced.
But because God waits for no man, Samuel and his wife traveled to a neighboring village one day to attend a religious sermon in another town.
Okay, you're twisting and shoving and yelling and cussing. Okay, well, I have a gig. I have
Yeah, you got a gig?
to get to, yes, so all of this, let's put a pin in that, and I will be back, okay? You keep seizuring until I get back, okay? Because I still want to make sure the devil's inside of you when you're back, because that gives me something to do.
Fascinating.
Well, while they were gone, the two afflicted girls spoke with a neighbor named Mary Sibley. And Mary Sibley told them that if they really wanted to figure out if they were being plagued by a witch, they needed to practice a little magic of their own. They needed to bake a witch cake.
Now, they all became witches.
What's a witch cake?
Ooh, you'll love this. A witch cake was a loaf of rye bread mixed with the urine of the afflicted and baked into hot ashes.
Yeah, you got to get the girls to piss in the bread.
Yeah. Or you get them to piss in a bowl and you pour it into the bread.
Hey, man.
I mean, I've seen the documents, but I just don't
However
think
you
it's
wanna
not,
do it.
It's not cake, though.
There's more than one ways to get the piss out of a girl.
Yeah.
But I guess they had a different meaning of cake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the cake was then fed to the family dog.
What?
And when,
Yep.
and when the
They had
dog...
the BB bread.
and when-
But then I actually don't know what the dog does to then find the witch.
Well, what the dog does, when the dog eats the loaf, it's supposed to hurt the witch because you're being eaten, because the witch might then reveal itself because it's getting hurt.
It's just going to hurt. It's going to hurt the dog.
Help, help.
Well, basically, if the witch sent evil to torture these girls, then part of that witch would be in the evil that afflicted them, which was inside their bodies. But if you removed a part of their bodies, in this case, urine, you could bake it into a cake and feed it to the dog to torment the tormentor and thereby identify them.
It doesn't have to make sense.
Okay.
Only just because it doesn't.
Yeah, because
Right.
it also didn't really work
It
that
doesn't
way.
do anything.
Yeah, well, it didn't
Yeah.
really even work the way it was supposed to in Salem, even though it did work.
I mean, blood would be more of the body.
Yeah, but
Pee-pee's
then
different.
you got to hurt them. If you just pee-pee, you're going to be pee-peeing like multiple times a day.
Yeah, everybody
Sure.
pee-pees like 15, 20 times a day. I
read
don't have
the book,
diabetes.
yeah. Of course.
Now, up till this point, witchcraft was a very abstract thing to these first two affected girls. But in the baking of the witch cake, magic became very real and physicalized, which only made things worse.
Because now we're all in this game together.
Yeah.
Well, you just know for a fact there was some chubby boy who went to eat the cake, and then they're looking at him like, buddy, you don't want to eat that cake. And he's like,
wrong?
I love this cake.
I'm actually really nice.
This is a really good cake. It's nice.
Once the Paris family dog ate the cake, the two afflicted girls cried out that their tormentor was within their own household.
Whoa.
According to them, the person behind the torture was one of the two people enslaved by Samuel Paris. Forgot to mention he's also a slave owner.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you forgot to
Yes.
mention that.
Yes. But that's
I
totally
see.
legal, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Her name was Tituba, and she had been singled out as the witch, most likely because she had been the one to bake the witch cake, making her the closest thing to a witch at hand.
Even though you asked her to do it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And
Yeah,
Tituba
told her to do it.
obviously is the one you'd call of what we said at the very top, the quote-unquote usual suspects, because she is the help.
Yeah.
She is the person that comes. And so immediately they're the first people suspected of witchcraft.
It ain't right.
Now, while we don't know much about Tituba's origins, she was most likely born in either the Caribbean or Florida and was brought to New England by Samuel Paris from Barbados. However, Tituba was not of African origin, despite how she's often portrayed in movies and films and stage. Rather, Tituba was...
I think Tituba.
Tituba.
Because Tituba sounds like...
Tituba, yeah, Tituba. I'm remembering why I'm saying Tituba is because that's how me and my buddy Wes used to say it in high school when we
bet.
studied the Crucible.
Yes.
And we would just drive around in my
say the
truck
word over
and
and
just
over
like
again.
scream Tituba
Yes.
at each other. Oh, Tituba!
Yeah, because
And just to have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, because it's fun. It's a
'cause-
childish way to have fun.
It really
you say
is.
the word tit in there.
Yeah, because that's why it's funny, because it also sounds like a tit tuba.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a tuba
Made out of tits. Yeah.
And-
Oh, no, I'm following
Yeah,
you, friend.
or a gigantic tit that you blow on and it makes a tuba sound.
Actually, that's
or-
what I saw.
Absolutely. There's a whole series of different ways to say it. Yep.
Tight tuba.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Tituba was one of the Kalina people of South America, which were one of the many indigenous tribes who have been enslaved by Europeans since 1492. Now, just the single fact that the Paris family had been the first afflicted was highly embarrassing for the Reverend. But Tituba's involvement as the witch herself was doubly mortifying for Salem's so-called spiritual leader.
Oh, and my employees. Everything's falling apart.
I mean, I hope she has her revenge.
However, she doesn't. However, neighbor Mary Sibley had given Paris a gift in the form of the witch cake. Now, he could blame the arrival of Satan on magic
Yes.
instead of the actions of his daughter and niece.
Yes.
making Paris completely blameless in the whole affair.
Nothing but net.
And this was even though the witch cake was baked long after the affliction started.
Well, it's fantastic the way that all worked out for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's interesting about the first afflicted, though, is the fact that both Paris's niece and his daughter disappeared from the proceedings fairly early on. They were not the main accusers at all. See, even though Samuel Paris was unpopular, he still had a few friends. And specifically, Paris was close with a family called the Putnams.
Oh, yes.
The Putnams had a 12-year-old daughter named Anne Putnam Jr., and Anne became afflicted herself on the same day that Tituba baked the witch cake.
I'm feeling a little tremor come on.
Maybe it's puberty.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
She was 12.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's time for me to be a little bit of a witch.
All right. Well, very mature 12-year-old, I suppose.
From Putnam Jr., the affliction spread to another girl, 17-year-old Elizabeth Hubbard. Hubbard worked as a maid for Dr. Griggs.
Yeah, Dr. Griggs. Whoa. Yeah, you make sure that amp is turned to 11.
Sweet.
Well, Dr. Griggs, if you'll remember, he had examined Paris's daughter and niece. He was the one who diagnosed them as living under an evil hand.
You got to be a witch.
Indeed. And you know Dr. Griggs performed the surgery because he left the little guitar pick inside.
And then he sued for malpractice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's absolutely ridiculous. How
Rock and roll to be sued for malpractice.
I love the semi-Hagar of doctors.
Well, Dr. Griggs brought stories of bewitchment home, which were undoubtedly heard by his 17-year-old servant.
You wouldn't believe what these little girls did. Twisting around, turning into pretzels in front of my eyes. And I was like, what? Hell no. You got to be witches.
Do they have pretzels yet?
Maybe.
Let's see. When did the pretzels? Because Hannah, this is pretzel town. This is pretzel area.
Pretzel's a German thing, and these are all English people. Germans haven't arrived in America yet as settlers, at least not in any large numbers.
610. Year 610.
Yeah.
No, but when did it come to Massachusetts?
I don't know. I can't always be the one with the pretzel-based knowledge.
Now, these two new girls, Anne Putnam Jr. and Elizabeth Hubbard, they were among 6 that were the major accusers during the Salem Witch Trials. It's mostly 6 girls doing all of this.
Wow.
All 6 besides Anne were between the ages of 17 and 20, and all but Anne were servants or orphans. These girls were at the very bottom rung of society amongst the free peoples of New England, and they had difficult, highly stressful lives of nothing but work from sunup to sundown. They were beaten. One of them, like the guy they worked for, called her bitch witch all the time, and some were almost certainly sexually abused. Additionally, many were also refugees of the frontier war in Maine and showed clear signs of PTSD that could have resulted in the aforementioned conversion disorder when you combine it with fear of the devil.
Everything. When you combine it with everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
But while some of the afflicted were indeed suffering, others were undoubtedly just making shit up. And there was precedence for just such an action. One of the most famous cases of witchcraft fraud was that of Anne Gunter in England, who almost certainly had a wild fetish for being stuck with needles and pins.
Just call me the pillar.
Oh my goodness. Gunter.
During her time of accusation, Gunter vomited pins, expelled them from her nose when she sneezed, and sometimes she actually pissed pins out of her urethra.
How?
Pins.
It's cool, man. That's nowadays. That's like a fun like burlesque.
I mean,
act.
yes. If Letterman was still around, she'd be like stupid human tricks.
Yeah.
Look what she can do with her urethra.
Yeah.
It sounds
He
very
always featured the urethra.
I know. It sounds very painful though.
Yeah, it was said pins came from Gunter's every orifice. Her mouth, her butt, her vagina, her ears, her nose, everywhere.
So stupid.
It sounds like it. Pins.
That's hard, man.
Yeah, she's a real Albert Fish.
Yeah. But when Gunter was finally brought before the king, she admitted fraud.
I'm making it up.
Yeah.
Come on, look at me.
So she didn't have a bunch of pins coming out of her butthole?
Well, it turns out that, the whole thing was kind of a plot inspired, or not inspired, but, it was egged on by her father because her father had this, he had this rivalry with this other family because he had killed 2 members of that family during a football game. Yeah, he got this dagger and he like punched him in the head with the butt of the dagger a whole bunch of times.
Sports have always been hard.
Well, that's not really part of the sport, though. I assume you mean football.
Yeah, football. Yeah,
American soccer.
Yeah. Now, the case was well known in the 17th century because it had occurred in 1605.
Yeah.
It was I mean, almost a century before Salem, but still, plays were performed recounting the tale of Anne Gunter.
Okay.
Yeah. Pin pisser.
Yeah.
I love that, man. And when they recreate that, when they bring her back into phase 5 on Marvel.
Absolutely. Her and Pinhead would make a lovely couple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pinhead, Pin Bottom.
Very nice.
Yeah.
One day.
Oh, yeah. Well, as such, it was not only likely, but a certainty that the Puritans knew about Anne Gunter. See, in the late 17th century, New England had the highest literacy rate in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
They all had to know the Bible backwards and forwards, almost by law. Because how else would you know the pure word of God unless you yourself read the pure word of God?
I view that as one of the only good things that they did, because it was all about putting the power back into the people and not just having someone like read at you from a mysterious book from in front of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the literacy rate in New England then was higher than it is now.
Fantastic. Good.
Good. Doing well. Doing good.
But since damn near everyone, down to the servants, knew how to read at least a little bit back then, the Anne Gunter fraud story would have been known. And that was in addition to the widespread availability of real, quote unquote, real witchcraft cases. Concerning fraud in the afflicted in Salem, though, there were certainly people in 1692 who thought the cases were fraudulent from the start. One person said that he heard an afflicted girl admit that she did it, quote, for sport, because we must have some sport.
Cool. Very Ferrugia Balt.
Oh, yes.
This meant that some of the girls accused innocent people of witchcraft just for the kicks and kept doing it even after people started dying. And it's with those girls and the flood of accusations to come that we'll pick back up for part 2 of the Salem Witch Trials.
Yeah, baby.
It's just
Hell's real.
It's amazing how many people have been saved because of basketball.
It really is.
Gosh.
But next week, man, we're going to get deeper into the history of the Infernal, which I'm very excited about. We're going to get some detail of what makes you a witch, what happens when you are a witch, how do you get in that club?
Yeah. And,
yes, indeed.
And how did Salem get so fucking bad so fucking fast? That's fascinating to me. But yeah, we're going to get into the accusations next week. We'll probably get into the trials the week after that. And of course, this is, executions, that are just kind of peppered.
Yes.
That's going to be our favorite part, isn't it?
Yeah, those are peppered throughout because hanging in New England in 1692 was not a fun business.
Yep.
Not at all. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Episode 500.
We did it.
I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being on this journey with us.
Yeah, man.
It's been insane that we're still doing this.
We are still doing it. And honestly,
Absolutely.
I have a renewed sense of love and joy for it.
As do I. After I finished the script yesterday, I did the snap clap thing that I used to do. When I finished the script, I go snap, and then I clap, and I go, yeah.
Cool. I mean, that's good.
He's a cool guy.
I took a full dump in the middle of our little break, and it was really nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
You said you were only going to urinate, but you took a dump instead.
Yep.
Isn't that something special? Okay, everyone. Well, thank you for listening. Thanks for supporting all the shows. We're going to be in Europe real soon.
It's going to happen real soon. And then we also, we are in Philadelphia in August 13th, I believe. It will be fun. And can't wait to see you in Australia.
Psycho Fest as well in Las Vegas on the 19th, baby. I think.
Psycho Fest is going to be awesome. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for supporting all the shows here. What's up, Marcus?
One more thing. Don't forget, our cruiser is for pre-sale, I believe, now at PriorityBikes.com. It's a super fucking cool bike. I ride Priority bikes myself. They make a solid product.
I've seen it, and it's cool bike.
It's super cool bike.
It's very dark.
It's a bicycle. Yeah. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Hail yourselves.
Hail Satan.
Hail Geen.
Magustalations.
And today, honestly, you just got to be careful. If you're a witch, good. We want you to be
Remember where you come from.
Yeah. Remember.
Absolutely.
Fight for your sisters.
Always.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.